Welcome back, everybody. Paul is not on a boat, but he is holding a phone in his own room.
Yeah, I meant to bring the headset out into the world and I forgot. And then I don't know why, but the audio on the computer won't go up. So, Skype, whatever.
And so here we are. Here we are. And how's Dublin treating you?
It's good. It's good. We took Mary Jo to the Guinness, whatever that is. What's it called? The Guinness, the storehouse, whatever it is. And also to the Jameson distillery. Very nice.
Did they have any world records at the Guinness place? Because that's kind of what they do.
Actually, both those companies have done something very similar in that they have allied with or bought, in Guinness's case, a bunch of other local companies who do what they do and created some sort of pan-Irish conglomerate of like-minded like-minded companies, I guess we'll call them.
Alcoholics?
Yeah. It's the central export of Ireland is alcoholism.
Well, we all know it's not potatoes.
Not anymore.
No. So anyways, we'll kick the show off here. We're talking about this guy back here, which is, I love the description of this photo, by the way. It's for credit to the New York Times. This is Paul Allen and his business partner, who you might actually recognize as Bill Gates. But for those who are not aware, Paul Allen passed away yesterday. He was a co-founder of Microsoft, a billionaire, owned the Seahawks, I believe the Trailblazers. He's given a lot of credit for basically kind of vitalizing Seattle. And he succumbed to cancer yesterday, and that impacts just about everybody in the Microsoft world, and well beyond, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's interesting on a number of levels. There's not a lot of Paul Allen left in Microsoft, right? I mean, he had left the company in the 80s because of cancer, actually the cancer he finally succumbed to. And when he came back, he kind of realized, like, this doesn't matter to me anymore. And he never really kind of stuck around. And in that way, he was a little bit like Steve Wozniak, who I think he had a plane crash, actually, but whatever. He came back to Apple at some point. He's like, not really. It's just a different company. Things had kind of moved on. And yeah, I mean, he's probably far more. It's funny, like the Microsoft co-founding is almost a footnote to his more recent philanthropical work and his other companies and so forth. Yeah.
And I believe he'd given him around $2 billion to philanthropic endeavors, and he will absolutely be missed. If you go to Microsoft.com, they have a small little tribute to him, and he or somebody near and dear to him released in early October that the cancer had come back, and I don't think anybody actually realized how quickly it was, or how far along it was when that was announced. So.
That was my reaction. I was like, wow, that was really quick. But actually, what probably happened was he had been fighting this quietly for some months, I bet. And when they announced that, maybe they kind of understood this was going to be the beginning of the end. So it's too bad.
No, it really is. 65 years young, which is old, but not really all that old anymore. And so obviously it's a big loss up in Seattle, and we wish all of our friends up there the best.
Yeah.
Speaking of... this is quite the segue here. Speaking of the best, Paul.
Yes.
So, Paul, have you ever used a Surface Pro before?
I have.
So it's just like that, but black.
Yeah. That's a great review, by the way. Nicely done.
It's I mean, that's basically it. If you like the previous gen Surface Pro, you're going to like the next gen Surface Pro. And that if you didn't like the previous gen Surface Pro, if you're Mary Jo Foley, you are still not going to like the Surface Pro. And so it's a little bit faster, a little bit blacker, and that's really about it.
Yeah. Well, that's the S-year thing.
Right? Yep, and I'll be curious to see. I think we all kind of know or agree that next year is going to be some sizable refresh of any meaningful proportion. I was actually told at one point that Microsoft really didn't even want to have an event for this, and they just kind of wanted to just push them out because it's, like Paul said, it was just an S year. And instead they decided to tack on some awkward Windows 10 announcements and then ship the hardware.
And that went well,
Yeah.
No bad repercussions there. So
I mean, just well, the one thing they didn't talk about was OneDrive at that event. So
right. I'm supposedly getting a Surface laptop to review at some point this week.
Good.
And it will probably arrive at my house on the way and will be sent back, and then that will be the end of that. But yeah, I'll be sure to publish something in December.
Well, you can you can have what happened at my house. So Ubiquiti, makers of Amplify, sent me their new router, and they sent it, and I Paul, you know that I work from home, right? I'm home all day long.
I feel like I'm privy to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sitting at my house and get the email. It says, "Hey, your package has been delivered. Go check my front porch." It wasn't.
It's not.
It wasn't there. And so I called UPS and told them that it was not delivered. And then they said, "Oh yeah, we see where it is. Can you go get it?" And I know exactly where it was because it was approximately a quarter mile away. Just because I live on a circle, it was on the other side of the circle. And I said, "No, I can't. Can you just have your UPS driver go get it?" And they were like, "Okay, fine." Clearly, this guy was not happy because he just chucked this thing onto my porch, didn't ring the doorbell again because I was home, and just kind of moseyed on away. It was great.
How's the router?
I haven't tried it yet. The package seemed okay, but you could I just kind of heard the clunk of the front porch. It's like, bet that's my package.
Someone's not getting a Christmas present.
So anyways, I'm not. I mean, I know what I'm going to do with this thing. It's a router. I'm going to play with it, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a router. I think somebody described it as for your grandparents. It kind of follows into that. You just plug it in. It sets up a network. It's like one step to create a password for it, and then it's up and running. It's not as high spec as some of their other stuff, but it's supposed to be just plug it in and go. And so we will.
I'm surprised Amazon doesn't make a router.
That's a good point. Now that you said that, I'm sure that Ubiquiti and Arrow and all those Netgear guys are going to kill you. Sorry.
Well, I mean, it seems. I mean, Google makes one. Yeah, Apple used to make them, but Microsoft used to make them.
Yeah,
but it
Amazon,
seems like the type of thing.
Amazon Basic Mesh Networking.
Yeah, basic. Amazon Basics, right? DSL speeds.
Actually, I'm not surprised they don't. Actually, I am surprised they don't. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then this other one I'm actually very interested in too. Microsoft is now testing mouse and keyboard support for the Xbox One. That is going to be. Do you know much about it? Like how it's implemented? Is it implemented per game or?
Yeah, the game maker has to implement it. So, for example, if you wanted to play Call of Duty with a keyboard and a mouse,
right.
Activision would have to do this, or Treyarch or whoever. But there was one game that is available now that supports it, and I want to say it's called Warfare or something like. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a game I don't have. So normally I would say something like, "Oh, if I was home and not on this trip, I'd be testing this right now." But the truth is, I wouldn't be because I don't have a game that does it yet.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just real curious because if they bring that to PUBG, then I'm gonna have to. I hope they honestly don't, because if they do, the same thing with Call of Duty. If somebody's using a keyboard and mouse versus a controller, you're gonna lose every time using a controller. And,
I hope they never do this. Yeah.
I could see them doing it on maybe like RPG games that are single player. Like there's some Halo War games.
You could have playlists that supported it, and it wouldn't be working elsewhere. I just feel like once you introduce this, like people are probably going to figure out workarounds, and you'll be in a game, and some guy will be winning 51-0 for some reason. And,
yep. What is going on? So Cortana launches in 3.0.
In beta, and on Android at least. I haven't looked at iOS yet. Actually, the app itself is very iOS-like. If you're familiar with some of the newer Apple apps like Apple Music or Apple News, they have that kind of big white space area, and then I shouldn't put my hand that close to the phone because I look humongous, but and then the large bold text there at the front. It looks just like that. It's kind of interesting. I think they were influenced by the Apple design language from iOS, but they have a nice new device interface. You can connect to actually a surprising range of Cortana devices, right? So if you think about it, Invoke, the Surface headphones, and also that glass thermostat are in there. There's a new Discover thing where it's actually kind of a good idea when you think about it. Google Assistant does this as well in the Google Home app, where it just kind of lists a bunch of things you could do, including some new features to this release. It will read back your most recent emails. You can make a phone call using your voice, that kind of thing. So that's kind of neat. And then what's the other interface? Just the default screen is kind of what's happening next type thing. So we'll show you the weather, and then if you have anything up in your calendar or whatever, it will pop up in there as well. It's nice. Cortana, if you're used to it on mobile, it's been purple kind of for a long time.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the 2X timeframe, they added the ability to change the color, but it's always been that kind of dark color in the background thing. So now it's got a nice white kind of modern looking UI. It's a nice interface if you do use Cortana.
Well, that is good. Actually, I'm wondering if that's going to be the primary interface to control the Surface headphones. I bet it is.
I bet it is too. Yeah. In fact, yes. And if you think about, I don't know if you probably don't do this, but on the Google ecosystem, you would use the Google Home app. And the thing they just announced at that recent hardware event, which was sort of a dashboard for those smart displays, like the Google Home Hub, is actually just a big screen version of that display in the Home app. And that's exactly what it is. It's for controlling all your devices. Yeah.
So it'll be, I'll be curious to see. We got about a month or so until whatever the Surface headphones coming out. Yep. I believe is it pre-orders or do they ship this Friday? I think it's pre-orders for the iPhone XR coming out.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, so I wanted to get one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little problem because with the iPhone X10s, you could pre-order it unlocked, right? Which wasn't always possible with the Apple stuff. Sometimes it used to debut a little bit later. Maybe last year they did this too. I can't remember. But on the 10R, I can't do that. I actually have to pick a carrier.
Ooh.
So they're doing what they used to do with the iPhones, which is they'll have the unlock one later. So I guess I'm gonna have to wait a little while. Like I was hoping just to pre-order one right away. But I can't, because what they want to do is get it slipstream so it is set up for your carrier and it's all ready to roll. And I don't want that. I want blank unlock, whatever. So that's kind of a weirdism of this one.
Yeah. So there you go. You can look forward to that Friday. You got anything else for today, Paul?
No. Nope. I'm here for a little while. We're actually meeting a guy who I've met in the past in Ireland on a previous trip, Brian Condren. Our event is tomorrow. We're not actually speaking until pretty late in the day. And then we have Windows Weekly, of course. So tomorrow will be a little busier. But today was mostly, I guess we would call it the distillery/brewery tour day. It's weird, you wouldn't think so in Ireland, but there's been a lot of
them. Never would have guessed that. Yeah. So, what do you think? Do you think we'll be able to do this tomorrow, or probably not? I thought we initially said you couldn't.
No, I think we can.
Okay.
I think we can. I don't know if I'll be over at the convention center or where I'll be, but I'll try to remember to headphones tomorrow. Sorry, but I would say. Actually, maybe we would do it early or something. I'm not sure the exact schedule. So
earlier is better for me.
Okay, so I would say that would probably be very likely then.
Perfect. Well, there you go, folks. That wraps it up for today. We will hopefully be back at some point tomorrow, and Paul will be presenting and other things over in Ireland. And have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. And actually, today's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Have yourselves a wonderful Tuesday. I've done that before, and we'll catch you back here next time.